right. Welcome in, boys. Another NASCAR Cup Series pre-race video off another profitable week. We say it every single Saturday. We made money on the pre-race picks last weekend at Sonoma. And we picked up 7 units on the live show last Sunday as well. And we start the day with a NASCAR winner. Coop gave out the Truck Series winner in the Discord this morning at plus 350. He got the chicken there, so way to go, Coop. And the band's back together 2 weeks in a row. What's going on, Coop?
Well, not much, man. Just I'm glad to see this enthusiasm, man. You must be, getting your second win, man. Because when we were talking pre-race, pre-show, man, you were not doing well.
I'm not gonna listen. I'm not a liar. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm dragging ass today, Coop. I went to bed at 7 o'clock this morning. I was up at 10. I got about 150 videos to do today. I'll be on till 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm dragging ass, bro. I'm not gonna lie. All right.
It's all right. At least you got some enthusiasm.
We were talking about this NASCAR All-Star race before we started the show, and you short-circuited my brain. Like you tried to explain to me the rules, and my brain shit the bed.
Yeah, very quickly.
Yeah, quickly too. Yeah. All right. So
seeing the expression on your face.
All right. So let's recap last week. Any takeaways from last week? Hendrick Motorsports is just a juggernaut.
Yeah, they're just a juggernaut. But as much as we say this every week, how good they are this year compared to prior years. This really right here might be the week that tells us everything, because Hendrick Motorsport traditionally has not ran very well at Texas Motor Speedway. It's probably one of their worst tracks. So if they come out tomorrow and do what they've been doing all season, it could be really, really bad for the other teams as we progress through the season.
Yeah, looking at the average finishes at Texas for the Hendrick cars, they are not inspiring. But you know what, though? Does it even matter this year? Because they're so much better than everybody every single week.
Oh, yeah. No, it doesn't matter. But, I mean, again, that going from a 550 horsepower to a 510 horsepower, that could give the competition what they need. Who knows?
All right, so let's start with the NASCAR Open. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but there will be 3 drivers in the first race, the NASCAR Open, that will make the All-Star race depending on how they finish later on in the night?
Actually 4. The winner of the first segment gets in. The winner of the second segment gets in. The winner of the race gets in. And then the top fan vote gets in, excluding the 3 drivers that got into the race from winning.
Okay, so at DraftKings, they have driver to advance to the All-Star race. It's under the NASCAR All-Star Open, and it says top 3. And Tyler Reddick is the favorite at minus 118. And I got to tell you, Coop, I like that play. Like, that's the only thing I've bet so far in terms of both the Sunday races. I think he's going to find a way in, finish in the top 3. So that's something I bet, him at minus 118. What drivers would you say are the favorites to make it out of the Open and actually into the All-Star race?
Well, I don't have that bet, so I can't see it. But I like that Tyler Reddick bet. Is he the best one as far as odds go?
Yeah, he's mine. It's on DraftKings too. He's minus.
I don't see it, but
he's minus 118, and then the second choice is DiBenedetto at plus 125, Eric Jones at plus 175. Busher at plus 200, and then on and on and on and on.
What's Ross Chastain?
Ross Chastain is plus 225 to make it into the All-Star race.
I kind of like that. I mean, I think he has just as good of a chance as any of the other drivers that you mentioned to get in on, winning one of those segments. So
you like Reddick to get in?
Oh yeah, Reddick definitely. Richard Childress has done well over the years at Texas. And I think, through one of those three segments, he can find his way to the front.
All right, so that I guess that takes care of the Open, the first race at 6:00. Now I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna let you explain the format for the second race, the All-Star race at 8:00. And I dare anybody in the YouTube chat not to get confused. So I'm going to let you explain how it's going to go down. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, before we start with that, I briefly mentioned the package that they're running is a 550 horsepower usually. They've tapered it down to 510. And then, they played with the spacers that are in the cars, and they're making it more run like a mini Talladega, mini Daytona type of race. And their hope is to keep these cars bunched together on all these short runs that they will be, running during this race. So, it's a completely different package what we see normally on these 1.5-mile tracks, and how it's going to affect the cars, not quite sure. But it's something to pay attention to during the Open because passing could be tough. It's already tough on this track to begin with. It's one of the tougher 1.5-mile tracks to pass on. And then if they reduce the horsepower, that could make it more challenging to pass. But, their whole thing is to make it tight, have some drafting come into play at some point. It's not going to be like drafting that you see at Talladega or Daytona. And it's not going to be, bunched up cars like you see at Daytona or Talladega. But instead of them spreading out after, let's say, 3 or 4 or 5 laps, you're going to see more racing through these 10 to 15 laps that look more like the first 2 or 3 laps where they're closer to each other, so to say. Now, as far as the format goes, the starting lineup was determined by random draw. And there are 6 segments throughout the race. The first 4 segments are all 15 laps. No yellow flags count as far as that goes. It's all green flag racing.
Wait. Time out. Flag on the play, Coop. Did you just say that no yellow flags count?
Yep, those laps do not count. It's just pure green flag laps that count. The entire race.
Okay, carry on.
You like that?
I mean, I wish that was the rule every single week, but I'm not sure why it's a rule specifically for this week.
No, because they're going to be tangling and getting together, and I expect them to have, a couple of wrecks here and there throughout the race.
Okay, so the first 4 segments are 15 laps apiece. All right, go ahead.
Yep. So after segment 1, they will take the finishing positions and they will invert the lineup to begin segment 2. They're going to invert it from 8 to 12 positions. So I don't know if that means they're going to start at like 3 and then go on from there. I don't know how they're going to determine this or that or whatever, but it is what it is.
Was that always the case, Coop, at these All-Star races? Was that always the case?
They've kind of taken it over the top this year as far as how many times they're inverting and how they're inverting and things of that nature, but they have done it in the past.
So you're saying for people that aren't sure exactly what you're saying however the first top 10 cars finish at the end of segment 1, when they start segment 2, the car that won segment 1 will be, let's say, in 10th place. The car that finished second will be in 9th place. That's what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that because I'm not 100% on the rules. I just know that there's going to be an inversion and it's going to involve 8 to 12 cars. I don't know if they're starting at the first place. I don't know if they're starting at 4th place and then inverting on back. But there is going to be an inversion. So I don't know. So I don't know how they pick it, how they determine it or whatever. So I'll read more into it, but I haven't seen anything of that nature. But anyways, the third segment, how they finish that will be a complete inversion, and that will be like what you're talking about. The first place car will go to dead last, second place car will go to second dead last, and so on and so forth. The dead last car will start on the pole for the 4th segment. At the end of the 4th segment, they will take all of the average finishes that you've had from segments 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the driver that has the best average finish will start on the pole. The 5th is a 30-lap shootout where you have to have at least one mandatory pit stop, and it'll be by far the longest run of the night. And then the 5th, the last segment, is a 10-lap shootout, and that starting lineup is determined strictly from the order of how it's finished in segment 5. So yeah, it's brutal.
So I dare anybody to understand what the fuck Coop just said, because I don't have a clue. All that tells me is I'm not placing a single bet on this All-Star race, and I'm live betting it as soon as we figure out who's going to be in that last segment. I mean, yeah, I don't know how else to approach it.
I'm going to follow by the rules of Daytona and Talladega, and I may not place a bet until close to the end of the the 5th. One, because that's going to give you an idea of who. And like I said, I would expect there to be at least 1 or 2 accidents prior to that. And then the last one, God knows what's going to happen because, there is no money for second place here. First place gets $1 million.
Right.
And second place goes home with nothing. So, they're going to be on top of each other. They're not going to be afraid to hit, somebody from behind, so on and so forth, because they all want that $1 million. So it's a race of attrition. It's no different than a Talladega or a Daytona. And, I probably, like I said, won't make that bet until sometime in that 5th segment.
Yeah, you can guarantee yourself that I'm not making a bet. I'm exactly what you said. I'm following it like it's a super speedway, which, by the way, the only races we have cashed the ticket on Sunday in 17 of 19 cup races this year. There have been 2 cup races where we didn't cash a ticket, and they were both super speedways. So
you don't need to bring up the last one either, man, because it was so close to getting that 6-1 too.
I know. So I mean, I guess we approach it like a super speedway, and we try to find an angle late. But before the video started, you said, "I've got the winner, Jay."
I do.
Well, I'm ready for it, bro.
Well, who's your winner first?
I mean, how the hell do you pick? I'm gonna say based off of average finish, Kevin Harvick or Kyle. No, not Kevin Harvick. He's been too bad this year.
Hold on. Did you say Kevin Harvick?
Yeah. Listen, I took it right back. After it came out of my mouth, I took it right back. I'm going to say Kyle Busch. Now, listen, if Kyle Larson does it again, on another rocket ship than and Hendrick. You know, they're a machine. If Hendrick gets it done, more power to them. I'll live bet them and hop right on them. But if you're asking me for one pre-race pick, Kyle's good here. He's got momentum the last 6 weeks. I'm going to say Kyle Busch. That would be my one pick pre-race to say who wins the race. Who you got?
I have two drivers that I'm eyeing, and they're both for the same reason. As far as why I'm eyeing them, both of them start in the mid-pack. So these winky rules, where you go from inverted first to last to first, shouldn't affect them too much. I know they got to drive, and they could fall behind or could fall forward, which could affect the inversion. But I like them because also they've done very good on the 1.5-mile tracks this year. The long shot for me to win, and not my favorite, but long shot, would be Brett Keselowski. He's done very good on these 1.5-mile tracks so far this year. And he's also a very good racer when it comes to strategy. He implements a lot of it, and that's what this race comes down to.
Not great at Texas, though.
No, he is not great at Texas. Not great one bit.
Yeah.
Out of all the big dogs, he's probably the worst, to be quite honest with you. But if you look at his 1.5-mile performances this year, he's been very strong. Are you going to say Joey Logano next? No, man, I'm going to put a fucking big smile on your face because I'm going with Willie B.
Willie B, let's go.
Yes. So Willie B starts right there. I think it's 8th position. And next to Kyle Larson, I think he's been the most consistent, dominant 1.5-mile track driver this year.
Are you going into your pocket and betting him pre-race?
Not to win, but I have another bet when I'm done. I think he's 12-1. I don't know. I'm not gonna do the whole pre-race bet for the win type of deal. But anyways, I same with Keselowski. I like his starting position. I think he can stay right around in there. He's been very good on 1.5-mile tracks this year. He won on one in Homestead. If it wasn't for Kyle Larson on the 1.5-mile tracks, he would probably be the best driver on the 1.5-mile tracks this year. And then the other piece that I like about him is there are 6 restarts or starts in this race, plus numerous others from the cautions that are going to develop. So we're probably looking at like 10 restarts throughout this race. He is number 1 this year in restarts amongst all drivers.
He's been great.
Yep. So
you know who else is notoriously great on restarts? Kyle Busch.
So yeah, but Kyle Busch is going to fade quickly.
I mean, way to put a smile on my face, bro. My two favorite guys, Kyle Busch, and then you come at me with Willie B. He's plus 150 to finish in the top 5.
And that's the bet I want to place.
Yeah.
So the other bet that I was contemplating, and it's kind of a joker bet. I really don't care much for it, but I also like Chase Elliott. He starts in that 6th position. He's 3rd this year on restarts, and he's had good speed on the 1.5-mile tracks this year. He's just had a lot of bad luck. But there's a bet out there on BetMGM, I believe. If Elliott and Byron both finish in the top 5, it's plus 450.
Terlansky said Kyle Busch is going to have a 20-second lead in this race that's on right now. Your boy has Kyle Busch on the spreadsheet, minus 130, because I knew that he was going to absolutely dominate this race. Once he gets the lead, he is gone. Drove right up through the field. He's a half second back of the leader in 2nd place. Let's cash Let's cash both NASCAR races today to start the day. Coop got it home in the truck race. Let's get this Xfinity race home, Coop.
Yep. So.
All right. So. All right. So there you have it.
It's more about enjoyment. It's all about the enjoyment tomorrow night. I wouldn't go crazy on this whatsoever. During the race, I might have one live bet, maybe two at the most.
Yeah.
But,
well, don't tell.
I'm not going to go nuts with it.
You and I have set such a standard that there are expectations every week. It doesn't matter what race is on. It doesn't matter what race is on. Kyle Busch now minus 300 live. That's why we grabbed them minus 130. All right, so there you have it, boys. Coop and I are going to treat this race like a super speedway. We're going to wait until we actually know which cars are going to start somewhere around the last segment, 1 through 10, because with all these inversions, I mean, who the hell knows how it's going to shake out? We're not really going to know till the end. So I'll tell you right now, I'm going to tail Coop on that Willie B top 5 plus 150. I'm going to tail him on that. That will be my only pre-race bet in the All-Star race, just tailing him. And so that's obviously Coop's bet, plus 150 on Willie B in the All-Star race. My bet is going to be Tyler Reddick makes the All-Star race at minus 118. He's gonna be in the first race in the All-Star Open. If he finishes in the top 3 or 4, he's going to make it into the All-Star race. I think he's good enough to make it in. So I'll take Tyler Reddick minus 118 that he finishes in the top 3 and makes the All-Star race. And then Coop's bet is going to be Will Byron plus 150 to finish in the top 5. And then aside from that, it's just going to be me and Coop enjoying the race tomorrow night for most of the night until we can find a late live entry point and try to make some coin. Did I cover it, Coop?
Yes, sir.
All right, boys. That's your NASCAR All-Star Race pre-race video. Now at 6 o'clock, I'll be live for subscribers only for the UFC 263 Fightcast. So subs can find that link on the spreadsheet and in the Discord. And then tomorrow at 6 o'clock, we'll be live on the YouTube channel for everybody to be able to watch. So aside from that, Coop and I will see you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m. to enjoy a little NASCAR All-Star Race at Texas Motor Speedway. And aside from that, hope your action runs pure this weekend, boys. We'll see you soon.